capital, Nairobi Metropolitan. I'm talking about Nairobi, where we are coming to you live from Horizon TV studios that are based at Jamia Mosque, Nairobi. My name is Faisal, Kassim, and welcome to Live Real Talk. And tonight, we shall be talking about the Madrassa curriculum. Of course, it's a journey that started years ago, long time ago, by amazing, esteemed gentlemen that I have in studio. They're going to tell us about the journey. They're going to tell us more about the curriculum and when we should expect this curriculum to be launched. Joining me, inshallah, inside the studio tonight, I'm having none other than the Muslim Education Council Chief Executive Officer, Brother Munawar Khan. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Thank you so much for making time for us this evening. Thank you so much, Mzee. So important to know that Mzee Munawar Khan served in the board as well at the school that I attended, and all along he's been referring to me as his son. And thank you so much, Mzee, for bringing up us well up until this stage that we are. Thank you so much, Mzee. And of course, as well, I have another amazing gentleman with wealth of experience for as far as education is concerned, and that is none other than Mr. Ahmed Yusuf. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you so much, gentlemen, for making time for us this evening. And we are talking about Madrassa curriculum tonight. And I'm going to start with you, Mr. Munawar Khan, who is the CEO of Muslim Education Council. I mean, you have been so passionate about this thing, I remember, a number of times, even at the event that you are handing over the curriculum to the then Education Cabinet Secretary, who is the current Secretary for Internal Ministry of Interior, Dr. Fred Matiang'i. You're so passionate about this issue. Would you mind just informing our viewers and telling us the journey of this Madrassa curriculum until we are where we are at right now?
Jazakumullah khair. Thank you very much, Mana Faisal. You are my son and we train you properly. I am proud that now you are interviewing us.
Thank you.
I remember him admitting in Form 1. MashaAllah, Mabruk.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you very much for inviting us. This week has been a very good week for us as Muslim Education Council and the Muslim community. Alhamdulillah, before I talk about the Madrasa curriculum, you will allow me to talk something about Muslim Education Council.
Please.
Briefly, so our viewers can know
No.
what Muslim Education Council is for. Muslim Education Council was formed in 2011 to handle the issues of Muslim community, Muslim Ummah, in the matters of education, particularly teaching of IRE, Islamic Religious Education, Arabic language, and general education in the country. The journey started from 2007 when a conference was held in Islamia Madrasa Society, sponsored body of Muslim Academy at Park Road, which was known as Muslim Girls School. We had almost 28 organizations and about 30 individuals, educationists who attended. And it was resolved to form an organization which will take care of the education issues of the Muslim community. But for one or the other reason, it was not possible for it to take off until 2011, when I was invited back from Machako Salim High School to take a duty as the CEO and steer the Muslim Education Council activities. In 2011, it was registered by the Registrar of Societies as a Muslim Education Society. We got the registration certificate and we started our activities. Alhamdulillah, the membership is organizations. The first organization which came up with the support is Islamia Madrasa Society. The then chairman of Islamia Madrasa Society, Brother Muhammad Zafar Niaz, took the initiative. I think that time our host today, Brother Faisal Kassim, was a student.
Yeah.
It was a very big function in Muslim Academy Park Road, and we launched it. Brother Muhammad Zafar Niaz, as a chairman, sponsored the whole event, and then he sponsored the MEC also, not only moral support or venue, but he supported with the finances also. For the first 5 years, IMS, that is Islamic Madrasa Society, sponsored it fully and run the secretariat. They are paying the full salaries of the staff. Alhamdulillah, in the beginning, WAMI headquarters, Brother Ishad gave us an office in South Sea, in WAMI offices. But because it was far from town center, we were given another facility at Jamia Plaza by Sheikh Fathuddin Thangal, who is the chairman of Majlis Ulma Jamia Mosque. So since that time, we have been operating from Jamia Plaza in the office of Sheikh Fathuddin Thangal. 2013, Alhamdulillah, 2013 Basic Education Act was being drafted. And that time, Odiambo Education Task Force was working and collecting the views from the Kenyans. We as Muslim Education Council, on behalf of the Muslim, presented a memorandum. That memorandum was all-inclusive. We had almost all the Muslim organizations in Nairobi who were involved, including Jamia Mosque, Young Muslim, WAMI, Supreme Council of Kenya Muslim. And on behalf of us, SUPCAM Secretary General then, Brother Vachu, presented those recommendations and memoranda to Odiambo Commission. Alhamdulillah, it was so impressive and informative that the then Minister for Education, Kilonzo, Mutula Kilonzo, invited us and said, you have done a very good job and you should be on the Education Act. So Alhamdulillah, we had a meeting with him and we were recognized by the Education Act, 2013 Basic Education Act, to represent the issues and concern of Muslims in the Education Act. And we were given chance to have a representative on National Education Board. I am very happy to inform viewers that Dr. Ahmad Yusuf was the first chairman to head the board to select the committee member of National Education Council Board as a representative of Muslim Education Council. We were given chance to have a representative in all county education boards who are still working. Apart from this Education Act, we were recognized by all our Muslim education and other Muslim organizations. Jamia Mosque is the one which has been very supportive, morally and financially also. Ummah Foundation is another organization. Brother Zulnimji, who is our patron, has been supporting throughout. Kenya Muslim Charitable Society, Islamic Foundation, WAMI, and all other organizations have been working with us. So when 2013 Basic Education Act was enacted, madrasas and duksis are recognized as the formal education. And it was a great moment for us that now our madrasas are like any other schools, recognized by the government in the Education Act. But that was the beginning of the challenge, because once you have a recognized institution, you need to have a proper curriculum. So the government at the same time started CBC program. Alhamdulillah, MBC was fully represented in CBC program on the steering committee of CBC. I had an honor and opportunity to work with Dr. Matiangi, and in the discussion it was pointed out that madrasa curriculum is needed, which should be comprehensive. We, in the meeting with the ministry and KICD, discussed this issue at length with Dr. Ahmad Yusuf and some of our representatives. And KICD asked us, as government is developing curriculum for all the subjects, we will be able to develop for Kenyan madrasas also. As Muslim Education Council, we felt that it may not be right for the government or anybody else to give us a curriculum, because this is a very sensitive issue. Our madrasas are special. It's not like any other ordinary school. It is teaching the Holy Quran. It is teaching about our Iman, our faith. So it must come from the Muslim body. So we as Muslim Education Council said, this curriculum has to be developed by the Muslims of Kenya. It will not come from Saudi Arabia, it will not come from Kuwait, it will not come from Saudi or Sudan. It will be developed by the Muslims of this country. And we were challenged that it is not an easy exercise. It's a tough job, involving a lot of finances also. And Alhamdulillah, I was able to say that the Muslims of this country are rich enough and are willing to help us. We will manage financially as well as materially and resources also. And we call all the stakeholders on 14th of September 2014. And it was resolved that we must develop Kenya Madrasa curriculum first for the primary level. And Dr. Ahmad Yusuf was appointed or nominated to head that task force. So we had a task force of 14 members who were madrasa teachers, head teachers and ulmas in Dinyat. The journey started as almost 6 years ago. We developed it, we had several meetings, we have several consultation meetings, we visited almost all the counties in the country. I personally, Dr. Ahmad Yusuf, our chairman, Brother Zafar Niaz, and all the members, Sheikh Fatuddin, Sheikh Abdul Latif, and all those who were involved, really encouraged us and went with us to different parts. I went as far as to Wazir, and I was very happy that the government of county of Wazir hosted us. Me and Dr. Adan Saman went there. Dr. Ahmad Yusuf and his team with our chairman went to Malindi. We went to Kakamega also. So almost all the part of the country were involved, and our sheikhs, our madrasa heads, etc. were involved. We took their opinions. We went to Mambrui, we went to Malindi, and involved our brothers who are running madrasas and who are in education sector. We got the support from them, and in 2016 May, we organized first Muslim Educationist Conference at KICC. About 200 participants attended the meeting. Dr. Fred Matiangi presided over it, and we submitted a draft curriculum to Dr. Matiangi for onward submission to KICD.
Wow.
After that, some of our brothers from different parts of the country came up with more suggestions, more addition, deletion, etc. So we had to revise it. And Alhamdulillah, I'm happy to say that after several meetings in Nairobi and outside Nairobi, we were able to come up with all-inclusive comprehensive curriculum, which was accepted by all Muslim organizations and leaders.
Wow. Wow.
It was signed by all of them, including Supreme Council of Kenya Muslims, and a declaration was made appealing the government of Kenya to accept that curriculum, approve it, and allow us to implement in our madrasas.
Wow. Thank you.
Alhamdulillah, that declaration was printed in Friday Bulletin as well as Nation newspaper. And that helped us very much to convince KICD that it is all-inclusive and comprehensive curriculum. Supreme Council of Kenya Muslims wrote a very good letter recommending the approval of that curriculum.
Wow.
And
Wow.
this is the opportunity to thank all of them. May Allah reward them, and we appeal to them that they continue helping us, because this is not the end, it is the beginning of the journey. Now the phase of implementation, writing of the textbooks, training the teachers, getting them registered with TSC, and improving the facilities in our madrasa are the challenges. And inshallah, with the help of our community, our leaders and the government, we will be able to achieve that one also.
Inshallah, inshallah. I mean, that is one comprehensive history about all the Muslim Education Council and the whole journey behind the madrasa curriculum that we've just had straight from the horse's mouth. And I hope you have benefited as well, the way I have benefited in history class. I mean, here in Studio Horizon TV, for as far as the madrasa curriculum is concerned. Now I'm forced to go on a break, but when we come back from the break, I have Dr. Ahmed Yusuf here with me, who's going to tell us about the journey. From what Mzee Munawar Khan said, I understand that or rather he implied that this was an all-inclusive process. So, right, we had some dissenting views and opinions in the process of Madrassa curriculum, people who went to the government and challenged that after the 21st of May 2016 event of handing over the Madrassa curriculum. So let's talk about that and much more after this break.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you so much for keeping it live, Real Talk, right here on Horizon TV. And we are talking about the Madrassa curriculum. Just before the break, Mzee Munawar Khan just gave us a comprehensive institutional memory of all of the Madrassa curriculum, basically. He gave us an amazing background, an amazing history from the Muslim Education Council and the Madrassa curriculum, how the journey started. Now, Mzee Ahmed Yusuf, I understand that you were the team leader of that task force that was formed, correct?
Yes, you are quite right.
Yes, Mr. Ahmed Yusuf, from what Mzee Munawar said, is that you moved around collecting views and opinions from people until 2016 May, you had one compiled, comprehensive, proposed syllabus that you handed over to the then Cabinet Secretary of Education, Dr. Fred Matiang'i, correct?
Right, correct.
Why then did you have dissenting opinions after the handing over of the curriculum, people claiming that it did not represent their views, yet we are informed that it was all-inclusive?
I think this is something which is historical.
No.
The process of searching for a unified Muslim curriculum started very, very long ago. By different organizations here in Nairobi, at the coast, and so on and so forth. Unfortunately, for some reason or another, those initiatives were not successful. So when we were given this task by the stakeholders here in the multi-purpose hall at Jamia, where all the organizations, almost all the organizations, Islamic organizations in the country were represented. It was a momentous task because you know that to get all the Muslims to accept and to agree on something is quite a difficult task. However, we accepted the challenge, and we started by calling for submissions from all over the country, all the madrasas, all the interested parties, so that we can make the process as inclusive as possible. We went on further and asked for documents which are in use at that time in different madrasas. We asked for resource materials which are being used in the different madrasas in various parts of the country, so that we make everyone feel that they are contributing to the process. Unfortunately, there was very, very little participation from the various parts of the countries where we sent requests. We publicized this as much as possible in the press, but no effort was taken by our brothers and sisters out there. So then we went on further and visited parts of the country where there are Muslims, and as Mr. Munawar Khan has said, the CEO, we went to western Kenya, to Nyanza, to northeastern and the upper eastern part of the country. We went to the coast. I myself represented the Muslim Education Council and the task force in Mombasa and Malindi, and those meetings were highly publicized so that we could get as many people represented as possible. And we answered questions, we explained the process, and we even asked for more materials to be sent to us, and if there were any dissenting voices, we asked the ulamas, the madrasa teachers, the imams to send as much information as possible, to ask questions, and so on and so forth. When we came back to Nairobi, we collected all the questions, we collected all the suggestions which were made all over the country, and we had several meetings, and we tried to include as much of the information that we got from out there as possible.
Interesting.
So when we had that conference,
yeah,
we were very, very surprised when a clique came out and said that they did not, were not informed, they did not know about the process, and they were given a lot of publicity, and the following morning it was all over the press, and we were very, very surprised. However, we managed to get even those cliques which were complaining of not having been included.
yeah,
We included them. And the final process, the final curriculum which came out, it was even more inclusive than we had even thought it could be before.
Interesting. Thank you so much for that comprehensive answer as well. If we go, I think, into details of how the process went, I'm sure that we're going to spend hours and hours and hours right here trying to dispense and really see what really happened. Now, moving forward, now the curriculum is here. Mr. Munawar Khan, very briefly, I just want you to tell us and inform our viewers how important this curriculum is to the Muslim community so that we see the level of importance and how high we can hold it, you know, as a country, as a people, as a community. Very briefly, and then I can give you the follow-up question.
Thank you very much, Faisal. It's very, very important and crucial for the Muslim community in this country. As I said earlier, Madrassa and Duksi are recognized as formal education in the country.
Yeah.
And it was very much necessary that there is a comprehensive curriculum to implement that act.
Okay.
Once the curriculum is approved as it is now,
Yeah.
all the madrasas will be required to implement and teach in their madrasas. Because government will recognize that teaching.
Okay.
You know, it is a fact,
Yeah.
open secret, I would say, that our madrasas have been always targeted
Okay.
for creating, if I put in the quote,
Yeah.
extremist and terrorist,
Yeah.
which has been a very, very wrong perception. But now, with the approval of madrasa curriculum, the government is part of that madrasa. It is known to them what is being taught in madrasa.
Okay. Okay.
There will be no reason for anybody in this country
No.
to point a accusing finger to our madrasas.
Okay. Interesting. So they are part and parcel of the process now.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Our madrasa teachers also will be trained,
Yeah.
who will be registered with the TSC. So there will be no reason for anybody to point a finger at a madrasa teacher who is having a very big beard and coffee and khanzu, suspecting him to be training the extremist.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Thanks so much for that answer. Dr. Ahmed Yusuf, I see you nodding in agreement. It's like you have something to add on that. But just as you're adding on that, what are the challenges? I know Mzee Munawar Khan just briefly touched on them, but from where you're sitting, having led the task force of that team, coming up with that particular draft of the syllabus, and now, alhamdulillah, it's been approved. From where you're sitting, having gone through that process, what are some of the challenges that you're foreseeing in terms of implementing this particular curriculum is concerned?
I think the main challenge is the acceptance of the curriculum itself. But the fact that we covered the ground of getting it accepted right from the beginning, we see that not as a major challenge. However, the other challenges are standards. You will realize that once something is in the hands of the government, and the government has recognized the madrasas and duksis as schools, and this was very important because of that Education Act Mr. Munawar Khan was talking about.
Yeah.
The 2013 Education Act provides for every student, every child to go to school. And if a student or a child does not go to school, then the parent is liable for prosecution and jail term or a fine. And you know, us Muslims would prefer our children to start with madrasa first, even before they go to school. And sometimes we even prefer further that they go to madrasa totally and just go to school for the basic education. Now, this would have caused a major problem, a major challenge for the Muslims in this country. So the fact that the madrasas were recognized as schools, it was a blessing. However, the challenge is that once you're a school, then you have to follow the standards which are accepted for a school in this country and in the law. And our madrasas, some of them are very pathetic. They're in alleys, they're in people's homes, and they are in various other places where the standards of a school are not followed at all. So that is one of the major challenges that we are going to have to bring up the madrasas to the level where they are accepted as schools.
Wow.
The other challenge is the training of the madrasa teachers. To be accepted as schools has that challenge that teachers must be trained. Our teachers at the moment in the madrasas lack that training in pedagogics. They will be very, very good in their knowledge part, but in the pedagogics that will be lacking. So Muslim Education Council is going to undertake the major task, the major challenge of training the madrasa teachers so that they conform with the requirements of the standards of education in this country.
Wow. Wow. Thank you. Thank you. In the interest of time, I'm just going to go back to Mzee Munawar Khan. How, first of all, before I ask you how you expect or you would like the Muslim community to come in and support, I just want to ask you, when are we expecting this particular curriculum to be launched and to be made public?
Because of these holidays, although KICD approved it, but the official documentation is expected sometime in January.
Okay.
There is a procedure. We got the information because it was overdue. So the KICD immediately after the meeting and acceptance of our curriculum informed me as the CEO that your curriculum has been approved. It has to be minuted, forwarded to the council board of directors and formalize that approval and write to us and give us our copy back with the approval. So we as Muslim Education Council are planning to launch it sometime by the end of January or February, middle, and ask the Minister for Education to return our approved copy the way we gave draft copy to Dr. Matiangi. Now we'll ask the Minister, current Minister, Mr. Magoa, Dr. Magoa, to give us the approved copy, and we will invite all the stakeholders and Muslim organizations. Last time we had 200, inshallah this time we are expecting 500 participants, and it will be done at KICC once again.
Inshallah, inshallah.
I would like to add one thing, when Faisal, with your permission. The benefits of this curriculum is that it will be taught in all the madrasas. So any child going from up-country to Mombasa or from Mombasa to up-country will continue learning from where he stopped, the way we do in the school. If somebody is in standard 4, he goes to Kakamega or goes to Malindi or Lamu, he will continue standard 5. The same thing will happen to our madrasas also. Second thing, it will be, inshallah, examined by the Kenya National Examination Council. In our discussion with the government and with the KICD, we were asked that what is the process for assessment. And we said the way you are examining all the subjects, this madrasa curriculum also should be assessed, examined, and a certificate should be issued. So the way our children have KCP and KCSE certificate, inshallah, they will have Kenya Madrasa curriculum certificate.
Inshallah.
They will sit for the exam, they will be assessed, and it will be recognized and acceptable not only Kenya but all over the world. So they can get admission into other institutions for further education.
Perfect, perfect. What would be your parting shot, Mzee, on that note? What would be your parting shot tonight on this show?
My parting shot is that we are requesting the Muslims to prepare for this curriculum, the implementation of this curriculum. And not to be worried about the fact that there are going to be complications. This is going to be a very, very straightforward implementation. We expect that the madrasas will be so comprehensive that the certificate which is going to be issued will be the same standard as the primary certificate in the country. so that it will allow the graduates of this level to go to secondary school, any secondary school. They could continue with the Madrassa secondary schools, or they could continue with the normal secondary schools. And then after that, they could qualify to go to Muslim Islamic universities here in the country or abroad, or they could go to universities, any other university, public universities or private universities in the country, because we want to have the standards as equivalent, so that the madrasa curriculum and the certification issued after that will be equivalent to those certificates which are issued for the other curricula in this country.
Oh, okay.
So Muslims should not have a worry. We are going to offer a lot of assistance in as far as books and training are concerned. And even with regard to standards,
Yes.
It's going to be implemented gradually. There's not going to be an imposition that if you don't have the standards by tomorrow, you'll be closed or something like that. Those madrasas which will be compliant will be fast. Will be fast in the implementation, and the others will be encouraged to comply as quickly as possible, inshallah.
Thank you. Thanks so much for that. Mr. Munawar Khan, what would be your parting shot tonight on the show?
Thank you once again. So, there are a lot of things we can talk, as you said.
I know. I mean, if we start having this conversation,
it's good that our viewers and our Muslim community should be aware of what is happening at Muslim Education Council. We are in the process of developing now secondary level. So my appeal to our scholars, our madrasa teachers, our madrasa heads, directors, to forward their curriculum if they are implementing any for secondary section, so we can compile. Inshallah, next week we are inviting our task force to thank and appreciate what they have done for primary and continue with the secondary level. The second very important thing I want to assure our madrasa teachers, because some of them are well qualified from Kenya itself, from our institution, and some are qualified from foreign countries like Saudi, Kuwait, Pakistan, India, Egypt, Sudan. But unfortunately, they are not registered with TSC because they have not followed the local system. We are working with Kenya Education Qualification Authority, and in principle they have agreed that they will work with us to give equivalence to our madrasa teachers, so they can be recognized by TSC and can be given registered certificate to continue teaching in the schools. Because most of them are at the level of KCSE, diploma, certificate and PhD level. Our ulmas are well. The fact that they don't know English doesn't mean that they are not learned.
True.
They are educated, they are highly educated, they have knowledge. Language is just a medium. Otherwise they have full knowledge, and we are working with Kenya Qualification Authority and NACONEC, who is our sponsor also, is a government body, to make sure that our madrasa teachers are recognized, registered by TSC, and we are going a step ahead and request the TSC and the government to pay our teachers like any other school teachers, inshallah. So there are a lot of challenges, a lot of work ahead. We already plan to call our stakeholders and take their opinion, their suggestion, their advice, and move forward, inshallah.
Wow, thank you so much. Just to read some few comments. We have Issa Yunus, we thank God for the approval of the madrasa curriculum. So Muslims must now embark on the realizing of this dream. This is a milestone of our future endeavors. Hamza Hassan Motivation says, good job. Babu Pathan says, mashallah. Babu Pathan says, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Watching live program from Gigele. Babu Pathan says, inshallah. Jamal E says, Muslim in Kenya should unite. These are among just few among the many comments and views that have come forth, inshallah, on this program. But again, we don't have the time to go through all of them. But two things we're going to say as we are wrapping up this show tonight. One, they just mentioned about English, and people should not be judged or gauged by the level of the proficiency in speaking English. And it's true. English should not be a measure of intelligence. Some people might not be so good in English, in the Queen's language, but again, they're so good in the Arabic language, or they're so good in Swahili, they're so proficient in their native languages. I think it's important to give credit to its due as well. I wish, as a people, as a community, we would appreciate people's effort, we would celebrate people's victories, we would appreciate the leaders in our community with the same energy that we condemn them with the same energy that we shoot them down with when they go wrong. I wish. But to the Muslim Education Council, to the Muslim education fraternity in this country, thank you for this good job that you've done, for this amazing, beautiful gift that you have brought to the Muslim community. Last but not least, I was taught to clap for the victors before my time to be clapped for comes. So I'm going to clap to the Muslim Education Council and thank you so much for the job well done. Jazakumullah khair. Barakallah fikum. Thank you so much for keeping it.
Takbir.
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Thanks so much for keeping it live, Real Talk right here on Horizon TV. My name is Faisal Kassim. See you next week. Same place, same time as we're tackling yet another conversation. I have been your host, Faisal Kassim. Thanks so much to the crew that made this possible. Thank you, our beloved viewers, for keeping us company this whole hour. Thank you. See you next week, same place, same time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.